The Undisputed Era reunites. I'm Matt Carlins, and we're back from our holiday break with Just Pro Wrestling News for Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. And a big welcome to those of you listening on OccupyProWrestling.com. You can bring our updates to your website. Find out how at JustProWrestlingNews.com.
AEW.
AEW is back at Daly's Place in Jacksonville Wednesday night for the last episode of Dynamite on TNT. The show moves to TBS starting next Wednesday. The semifinals in the TBS Championship Tournament roll on. It's going to be Thunder Rosa versus Jade Cargill. The winner gets Ruby Soho in the final next week. The trio, formerly known as the Undisputed Era, have reunited. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish will face Orange Cassidy and Best Friends. Plus, Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz versus Daniel Garcia and 2.0. Jim Ross is expected back at the announce table after missing several weeks while he underwent treatment for skin cancer. On last night's Dark, Joey Janela beat Sonny Kiss in a no disqualification match. In Japan on Wednesday, it's one of the most highly anticipated championship matches of the entire year. Stardom presents Dream Queendom from Ryogoku Sumo Hall. The main event is World of Stardom champion Utami Hayashishita versus SWA World Champion Syuri. The winner gets all the gold. There will be no time limit after these two women battle to a 40-plus minute draw over the summer. Also on the card, Tom Nakano defends the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Saya Kamatani. And Julia returns from injury to face Konami. It's Konami's last match before she goes on a hiatus from wrestling. All Japan's top title holder, the Triple Crown champion Jake Lee, has vacated due to injury. Lee suffered a nasal fracture and a fracture of his left orbital during a match on Sunday. Lee was scheduled to defend the title on January 2nd. As of Tuesday night, no plans were announced for the vacant title.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
The rules are set for Katsuyori Shibata's return match at Wrestle Kingdom 16. It will be catch wrestling rules. Strikes will not be allowed. Shibata's opponent is still to be announced.
WWE.
Walter is returning to NXT, and he is set to wrestle on next Tuesday's New Year's Evil special. It's going to be Walter, Marcel Bartel, and Fabian Eichner versus Riddle and MSK. Another name from Raw, AJ Styles, is also being promoted for next Tuesday for another confrontation with Grayson Waller. Waller pinned Odyssey Jones with a stunner on last night's NXT. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade had to beat Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray to hold on to their spots in next Tuesday's three-way women's title match against Mandy Rose. Jade rolled up Kaylee Ray for the pin in last night's main event. Brian Kendrick did not appear for his promoted match against Harland. Instead, Harland made quick work of Andre Chase. Also last night, Sola Sikoa beat Santos Escobar, Von Wagner beat Malik Blade, and Tiffany Stratton won her in-ring debut against Fallon Henley. WWE's live event in Toronto, scheduled for Wednesday night, has been postponed and rescheduled for March 27th. Some newly announced title defenses for Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham. He will put the gold on the line against Chris Sabin at Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view on January 8th. Gresham is also now set to defend the title against Too Cold Scorpio at GCW's show in Chicago on January 15th. Gresham already had an ROH World title defense against Blake Christian, scheduled for GCW's big show at New York's Hammerstein Ballroom on January 23rd. GCW will hold a Do or Die Rumble at its show on New Year's Day. The winner will be the number one contender for the GCW Championship, currently held by Jon Moxley. The Briscoes will defend the GCW tag titles against Blake Christian and Alex Zane at GCW's show on New Year's Day. One more note from GCW, the company will run shows in Los Angeles on back-to-back days on February 25th and 26th. That is Just Pro Wrestling News for Wednesday, December 29th. Be sure to subscribe to this feed so you don't miss our next update. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.